On July 17th, at approximately 1400 Pacific Standard Time, there was an attack on the JakeSea fleet. Surf's Up, a classic lifeguard boat worth an estimated $2 million. Jake, I'm not saying this.
Fine, you're doing great. Just keep going.
It's not worth
No, you got this. You got this. Keep going.
Worth an estimated $2 million, and the crown jewel of Newport Harbor was the target of an unprovoked strike. While not the first to be plagued by this enemy, JakeSea swore to defend his fleet and protect his life, liberty, and mainly property. This is the story of the Great Mooring War of 2024.
We have an emergency video. The day that I have been dreading for 2 months has finally come. I have been attacked by an animal. Probably the worst animal to exist, the sea lion. I don't know if we should give this sea lion a name. I don't know if it's appropriate to humanize pinnipeds. What do you think we should name him?
Pinhead Larry.
Pinhead Larry? Pinniped Pinhead Larry? Pinniped the Pinhead? Pinhead the Pinniped? That's one. I'm thinking about naming him Tank, after Tank Evans from Surf's Up, one of the worst villains to ever exist. But Tank's a penguin, he's a sea lion. Maybe we'll go with Pinhead.
Or Sophie.
Sophie?
Okay, Sarah.
That's worse! Okay, anyways, it's my turn to defend myself and defend my boat. And not just for me, really, but for all boaters out there that have this same problem with these mammals. We need to build defenses.
This JakeSea program is brought to you in part by SetSailMarine.com. Reach a sea of eager boaters today. Whether you want to buy, sell, or fix a boat, Set Sail Marine has you covered. Make their Sailor AI your new deckhand and boating will be a breeze. Check them out in the description and use code JakeSea for 50% off your set sail experience at SetSailMarine.com.
Now we're here at the scene of the crime, and I am going to use the only weapon that the government will allow me to use against sea lions, which is a tape measure. Attention, what I just said is not entirely accurate. I talk about it more at the end of the video, so be sure to stick around. For those of you that are unfamiliar, sea lions are protected. And they're not protected under the Endangered Species Act. Instead, they're protected under the Marine Mammals Protection Act, which means that, like other things such as whales, dolphins, other marine mammals, you can't mess with them, you can't touch them, you can't harass them, you can't do anything about it. So I'm here with my tape measure to start implementing more defenses around the boat to try to avoid the sea lions, which now know they can get aboard, from doing so again in the future. And hopefully maybe by making this goofy video, we can change the fact that sea lions are on this and part of this act, because their population has exploded. There are tons of these sea lions, and it's just a war between them and the boaters. You can see by looking at all these boats. But I have a couple ideas of how to beat them and win the Great Mooring War of 2024. So with some measurements completed, Operation Goodbye Water Dog was underway. And after a long night of research that violates YouTube's community guidelines and some development that would make Lockheed Martin jealous, it was time to gather the supplies. And here we are, the armory. Our defense contractor store. Look at that, front row parking, baby. It's like they know we're on a mission from God to fight the sea lions. I may have made a mistake. Anyways, with all the supplies successfully collected and some new background music fired up, it's time to get building. It's probably not gonna do it. All right, I'll order the thicker ones on Amazon then. All right, now that the magic man from Amazon showed up, we can continue. Which, by the way, if you ever want anything from any of my videos, you can find it on my Amazon storefronts and in the description down below. It's unpleasant, but not dangerous. And with everything completed, there was just one last thing to do. The piece de resistance.
Ew. Jake, you got black paint on your face.
Something my girlfriend was clearly impressed by. After days of preparing, it was finally time to go and defend the boat. And you wouldn't believe who was there to welcome us. That's right, mocking me. Pinhead Larry was on the boat waiting, and he did not want to get off. For those of you unfamiliar, I will now do what I should have done at the beginning of the video and explain why sea lions are a hazard and nuisance to the boating community. And it really boils down to the fact that sea lions get cold. They are active in the water at all times of the day and often need to heat up their blood with help from the sun. That is why you often see them waving high, because they have blood vessels in their fins that help them thermoregulate heat. But when they aren't floating in the water waving high, they are looking to suntan, and they love to suntan. Like a Brazilian beach, these sea lions need the sun. And they will go anywhere they can to get it. Beaches, buoys, docks, and most unfortunately, boats. This characteristic leads us to two main reasons boaters are at war with sea lions. The first being that their skin secretes an oil that helps waterproof their coats. This oil wrecks boats. You can watch me try to clean it off here. It is incredibly difficult to remove. Oh, and they also poop everywhere. The second is less of an annoyance and more serious. An adult sea lion weighs an average of 600 pounds, and when one sea lion jumps on a boat, they all want to jump on the boat. This excess weight is enough to destabilize a vessel, and if it doesn't completely capsize the boat, it can still cause flooding and, depending on the power system, backfill the exhaust and total the engines. Now, let's make sure that that doesn't happen to my boat and get defending it. It's not gonna do it. Still need something else. We're just about there. We gotta have more. More! One last touch. So when I started this video, I had a basic understanding of how you were supposed to deal with sea lions. Very carefully. I thought your only weapon was a tape measure, and all you could do was build deterrents. Now, I didn't look specifically into this state's laws, but I did read the entire Marine Mammal Protection Act, and I did find guidelines for safely deterring marine mammals. Which wasn't easy to find, by the way, so I'll link those down below in the description. And it turns out there are a lot more ways you could deter sea lions than I thought. From drones to projectiles to noises. But everything you see and hear in this video today is for entertainment purposes only. I accept no liability for any movie-grade props or information you see in this video. Instead, go and read the documents yourself. Like I mentioned, they're linked down below. I will, however, read you my favorite section from the guidelines regarding pinnipeds. Foam projectiles propelled by a toy gun are approved for deterring pinnipeds, provided the foam projectile only strikes the posterior end of an animal's body, taking care to avoid the animal's head. Or in other words, if you have a Nerf gun, you could shoot him in the butt. Now, initially my beef for this entire debate was that sea lions were overprotected and there was no recourse for what you could do to prevent them from destroying your property. After researching it, my new beef is how hard it is to find information on this subject, and that the rules should be far more transparent for both boat owners and law enforcement. People shouldn't be afraid that they're breaking federal law in order to protect their boats. Thanks for watching and smooth sailing.
Where's the sea lion at?
We got rid of him!
What's that?
I said we got rid of him!
Oh, you got rid of him?
Yeah, you won't see him anymore.
Stop feeding him or what?
No, they dive into the boat.
Oh.
Yeah.